Hey everybody, welcome to the video. I'm Brandon Green. Today we're drawing from reference. I'm going to draw some frogs. So first of all, where do you get reference from? Well, you can get them from anywhere, really. You just need enough pictures that you can really understand what the, in this case, frog really looks like. So I went on to Google and just did a Google image search. Pull up my reference here. And I found some different views of frogs that I thought represented a good number of angles and variations that were out there. Now, there's probably still something missing, and if I run into something that I can't understand, like if let's say I really needed a picture of like the hind end, well, I might have to go and do some more research for that. But you want to try to find as many angles as you can. So what I do when I'm unfamiliar with an animal is, for one, you start drawing realistic. Okay, start with a realistic representation of that animal. And when you're doing that, what you want to do is try to pick out things that maybe you didn't know before. Like pick out interesting little things about their anatomy. Something that I want to play off of here is the forearms. Okay, so this is a good representation of it right here. Look how small this forearm is compared to, or I'm sorry, the upper arm compared to the forearm. Okay, so that's what I'm kind of wanting to play off of. But there's a number of things. I mean, maybe you like the ridges in the back. Maybe you really like these things here. Those are things as you go along you really want to pick up on and try to design. I'm drawing in a very strange gray color here that I don't like. Okay, so this is kind of where I start. Is start realistic, and you can get as kind of realistic as you want. I'm not going to go into a huge realistic drawing here. But the point is that try to stay accurate to what your reference look like at first. Okay, all that's for, the only purpose for that is so you can learn the animal. Okay, it's hard to caricature something if you don't truly know that subject. And I'm messing up there, making his leg way too big. Okay, his leg is like there, comes right up there. And this actually juts back. I'm looking at this guy right here, if you can't tell. Start broad whenever you're sketching. You don't have to draw every little detail at first. Start broad and then work into that. Okay. Their fingers are so interesting. And each species of frog obviously has a different kind of anatomy, slightly. Like some frogs have really like huge suction cups at the end, like tree frogs and stuff. That's something I really like. Whereas like a bullfrog doesn't. A bullfrog has webbed feet for swimming. Those are just kind of things you need to pick up on, and that way when you're designing characters, I mean, you're going to have to decide where does that character live? What's its environment? If it lives in the trees, well, you don't want to make it a water frog. If it lives in space, you want to try to figure out what a frog would need in space. Like, how does a frog survive in space? Just things you got to think of. Okay, so like I said, you can get as detailed as you want, but that's going to help. Do as many as you need to understand the frog. Okay, and you definitely want to do more than one if you're unfamiliar with drawing frogs. Okay, because a frog's leg is not always going to look just like this. His front arms are not always going to look like this. And I know I'm really like gestural there in the feet. I didn't finish out all the toes, but that's okay. Okay, so as you work forward through these realistic representations, what you want to do is just start being a little more creative. So maybe instead of this mouth, maybe you want him to smile. Maybe you give him a grin. Maybe try moving his legs around. You know, be creative. Start actually making that frog do the things that you want him to do. Okay, and then you can start pushing shapes, start exaggerating. Let's go to this little guy jumping. He's pretty fun. I'm going to open it just a little bit. And then, of course, you have the eye. And I'm playing with that shape, too. He's funny because he's just such a... just a blob of a shape when you just look at his body. Like, look at this shape. So it's very short, especially, I mean, when you factor in his legs. This is very short. So I'm going to just keep that short. I just kind of loosely draw in some pattern here that I want. And like the corner of his mouth, that's where it's going to help to draw more frogs, because you got to understand how the corners of their mouth look. And even if you haven't drawn a bunch of realistic frogs recently, like, just that's why we get more reference. Okay, I mean, look at the corner of his mouth right there. It's got a lot going on. And so when we draw things like this, it's always going to help. It's always going to help because you'll be able to understand the anatomy behind that mouth. Let's put his, like, give him like a big thumb right here. Really long fingers. You know, maybe they don't have big suction cups, but they definitely need some grip there. Okay, now here's that small upper arm. And we're going to go with the large forearm. It's just playing off those things that you pick up when you're drawing. You know, if that's not the thing you noticed, that's fine. I mean, just play off of what you notice. Okay, so now it's a decision, like, should I have his leg coming down here like that one does? I kind of like it. I kind of like that line. But then also you could have his line of action doing that, and you could put his other foot back here. I'll do it down low. And the reason for that is just because if it goes up here, I felt like he was just falling. Like, just... I don't want him to look like he's falling. I want him to look like he's just jumping. And okay, and then see on this image, like, see how he's got this little, like, water trail? Like, he's jumping out of the water. I mean, it looks like he's peeing, but I'm pretty sure... I don't know, maybe he is peeing, but I'm pretty sure he just jumped out of water. So we're going to add just a few little droplets and stuff that he's dragging with him. That just kind of gives the sense of movement. So that's still based on that reference, but it's definitely your own character. And that's what you want to do. Like, you just want to kind of learn to use it as the gestural reference, as an anatomy reference, and make your own thing. A lot of it is just using the reference as a guide. Okay, so the next guy I want to do is kind of like this right here. I like that he's just like completely chilling. So we're just going to do this, and we're going to go pretty fast. I don't want to get bogged down in details too fast. The idea right now is just to get some gestures down on paper. You can always tighten them up later. I'm simply using my reference to try to get some new poses that I can then design some characters from. And I'm kind of designing characters as I go, but you know, from here I would definitely tighten them up. I'll put his arm, like if his arm was right here, just squeeze it in here and just put it like dangling, like he's completely laying down. Okay, and then I'm gonna move him up. Hey. I'm working in Sketchbook Pro, by the way. I don't do it very often. So, I don't know. I feel clumsy in it. Okay, I'm going to have his other leg. Like, his other leg is back here. Have it dangling down. And, you know, you got to remember what you drew over here. You know, you got to learn from what you've already drawn. Okay, and then his eyes, like, make his eyes, I gotta make him chillin', like, he's like, yeah, what's up? Alright, there we go. Okay, new little pose. Okay, now let's move on. Let's do something that's maybe not from reference. So we're gonna start with a body shape. I'm going to make it just kind of interesting body shape. We're going to give an eye and then draw the other eye. And then his nose would come down like this. Maybe he's just sitting, so maybe his arms are right here. I'm going to put a little more twist to him. It's a little too big. Like, I want this to be like the largest part of his body. Like, I don't want his legs to be so overpowering the. There we go. Overpowering the rest of it. And I'm not happy with that mouth the way it is. There we go. I like that one better. Okay, don't spend too much time on it. Just move on. Let's try, I kind of like this guy. Let's do something where his mouth is open really big. Okay, we're going to push this even farther. I like his tongue hanging out like that and being all bleh. There we go. Give him like a double chin, like, you know, they do that croaking. So maybe when it's not croaking, it's just like a big double chin. There we go. And I do like him hanging from that tree. That's kind of cool. There we go. A little butt. You know, play around with where you put his eyes. His other leg goes there. This arm, I'm going to hook this around this arm so that can come out. And then his forearm can just be right here. There we go. And that's all I would do for that guy. I mean, like I say, you want to go fast. Okay, so there you go. Now I've taken them, I've rearranged them, I've added a little bit of color real quick underneath the drawing. But that's how I use reference to find new drawings, to find new poses, to learn how to draw anything, to learn how to draw new characters out of especially animals that I'm unfamiliar with. I hope that helped. I hope you guys have a great week. Next week I should have a video on composition. If you were waiting on that for this week, I'm sorry, it's still in the works. I'm tightening up a outline for it. So anyways, have a good week. Go draw something, have a lot of fun, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please like the video and leave me a comment. I'd like to hear from you. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. See you guys.